and they don't have a protection plan, so long as they're calling us within 3 days of the items being in their home, up to, but no greater than a year, we can create and help them create a warranty claim, because it's possible that what they're experiencing again is a manufacturer's defect. If they call us 366 days after they've received their delivery and they finally think they're experiencing a manufacturer's defect, we can't support them in that situation because they're out of that limited warranty. So this table just helps illustrate those points. Again, our Carefree program, this is why we love it, because whether it's a defect or accidental, we have a really nice buffer of time here that a guest can ultimately contact us, and that we could ultimately either try to resolve at the living spaces level, or again, get our third-party care provider involved so that way they can service our guests for those potential manufacturer's defects or accidental damages that happen to the guest's furniture while it's in their home. The 48-hour tool is particularly important for us because we understand that there are a few things that can also happen just within a matter of a day or a few hours of a guest actually owning something in their home. And without going into specifics, just be aware that this is another model that we reference to help us understand how do we best support or compensate, if necessary, any issues that our guests are experiencing. As an example, if a guest, let's say that it's Jay, just because, you know, why not? Let's say Jay calls in and he says that there's, you know, a concealed rip that he just didn't realize when everything was set up in his living room, or he found a day later that there's actually tears and scrapes on the back leg of that sofa, of just where that fabric meets the sofa leg. This is in a 3-step process, essentially what you're able to do for your guest in that scenario. So you can, if you want to, discount his order 5 to 10%, and that's specifically for that line item, so long as it doesn't exceed the value of $100. You could, or if that's not the right solution for Jay, we could then say we could schedule a service technician to evaluate what happened. There'd be no fee because it's done within 48 hours at the time of the delivered item for Jay. The worst case scenario is we could exchange this item for Jay and get him a sofa. Now, I want to ask you though, why would we not directly jump to the exchange? Why do we evaluate these first two options or protocols before we say, you know what, we'll just get you a new sofa?
Well, because the first two options are cost effective.
Yes, on both sides. It's the most cost effective for our business, and it's quite frankly the least stressful and most cost effective for our guests as well. If we can not involve additional resources on our end outside of just again providing a Goodwill gift card or discounting that specific item in the order, all we're really spending is again those 15 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes on that phone call, and we address the situation, and we can all walk away from it knowing that we were taken care of on both sides. Getting a technician involved, as you'll learn next week, takes a little bit of time for us to set up appropriately, but once that process starts, now we're ultimately putting things onto our guests, and we have to make sure that their availability aligns with the schedule of our technician to come out to the home and evaluate what happened. The exchange is the most cumbersome part of the process because it ultimately forces us to have to take back an item that we ultimately either destroy or discount at a later time at any location that can host that specific item. We have to pay for drivers again. We have to make sure that, again, the guest is available for another delivery and they're still using that item while we set up an exchange for them. It's the least cost effective and the least it's the most invasive solution that we have for both living spaces and the guest. So this table helps us understand, again, what can we do first before we start evaluating option 2 and then ultimately option 3. And notice how, again, the exchange for some types of items, like if there's seam separation for a sofa, it's not the last thing we do. It moves up closer to the front because we know that a technician is not going to restitch a sofa in someone's living room. That's not feasible. Thumbs up if that makes sense for everybody. Again, just as a general overview there. Excellent. Thank you so much. So all in all, this is just to allow us to have, again, this kind of meaningful dialogue with our guests. We need to always understand what kind of defect we're working with. If it's covered by warranty, great. What does that mean? And if it's covered by Carefree, okay, what do we do there? So those tables help us out with that. We have to always then validate that the item is still within, again, that respective coverage period of time. And then what we do, if a guest is interested in setting up a warranty claim and they're calling us, is we actually send them a link, or we direct our guests to the Living Spaces website for them to actually file their claim. We don't have to do all of it personally at the Living Spaces level. Our guests actually have the ability to self-service this option too. But we want to make sure that we set appropriate expectations as well. So for Living Spaces to respond to a claim right now, it currently takes about 3 business days, more or less, for a leader, a manager, or a warranty department to come back, call the guest and say, we reviewed your claim and it looks like it's been approved. This looks like a defect. Here are the next steps. So this is what it looks like if your guest actually visits the Living Spaces website today. And again, we have a warranty section on our banner there. And it offers a disclaimer to our guests, letting them know that this option is only feasible if they're calling, or excuse me, if they're reporting something for an item that's been in their possession for less than a year. This, again, limited warranty states it's a 1 year for most, if not all, items. And then they elect what type of product it is that they're trying to submit a warranty claim for. And then it ultimately asks whether or not the issue was reported at the time of delivery. Has anyone, I'll ask the question before I just state it. Did anyone walk you folks through what happens if we identify a defect at the time of delivery in our guest's home? I'm seeing some head nods. So this might sound familiar as I say it. If it's new information, here you go. So another great benefit and value of full service delivery is, let's say I was part of the delivery team that goes out to T's residence and I'm setting up her bed frame and we realize, oh my goodness, there's a defect. The drivers are actually equipped with phones and they have to actually call in a guest services line and they interact with one of you to ultimately say, I'm working with a guest right now. The guest name is T. We evaluated some defects on this bed. How do we proceed? And we try to evaluate and give that information to guest services immediately. It's part of our live refusal process. And so that's why this question is here on the website, because if it was evaluated at the time, then there might be something that we can search for. If it wasn't, we're just starting a brand new claim because of something happening within the year of ownership. And then from there, your guest is prompted to just list a couple of bits of personal information that they could submit. And then they ultimately get asked to upload photos of the perceived issue. And then there's some directions and some guidance for our guests to understand online what the best way is to take these photos appropriately, so that way we can evaluate it accordingly with our warranty team on the Living Spaces side of our business. We're going to walk you through what it looks like from a process perspective next week, and when you start actually creating warranty tickets and claims within our CRM system and within POS. So we'll show you what that looks like. Okay. Some of you earlier were asking some really great questions about, forms of payment. And I know that we've done hopefully a decent job of discussing Synchrony financing, and then the fact that guests can pay with credit card over the phone, gift card, etc. So when a guest wants to pay with a credit card over the phone, we use something called CallGuard, which is just a payment process that allows Living Spaces to mitigate risks by eliminating the need for our guests to actually read their credit card numbers over the phone to us. So as you know, right, to be compliant with all the new credit card standards and fraud standards that are out there, all organizations have to put something in place. This is what we put in place to make sure that we are not eliciting any fraudulent behavior. So it removes that challenge of having to listen to credit card information over the phone. And when taking payments, the guests will use ultimately their phone, so their cell phone or the landline, to enter the credit card number and the CCV number instead of actually reading their numbers out loud to us for us to capture. Starting tomorrow, we're actually going to be able to show you what it looks like when the system prompts for it. And it's really interesting. It's a separate screen that ultimately just pops up on our end, and all the numbers start populating as a guest enters their information on their phone, but we don't see the numbers. So it's just little asterisks, and it essentially looks like this. And then the call gets redirected to you because there's like a space where there's no audio. It just says, please enter your credit card number. And then it gets redirected back to you. And all you have to do is just fill out one or two other bits of pieces of information before you proceed with payment. So again, this reduces fraud and it keeps us and our guests safe as they share that private information for us when they're making a purchase over the phone. If your guest is not comfortable doing this, or there's any issues or contingencies, what you could ultimately do is you could send them a payment link, and we'll talk about that next week as well. And but they need internet connection to make that possible. So that way they can provide that information if they don't want to pay over the phone. And if that doesn't work, then we just direct them to come into a store. So that way they could complete their order. So there's a few options that exist.
Quick question in regards to that.
Absolutely.
For CallGuard, I'm assuming that is for like mobile devices only.
From
Like,
what I
they have a
understand,
landline.
from what I understand, it should work with landlines as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't, like that's the first that I've heard of it, so it's awesome.
I know
But
not as many people use that stuff anymore, but at the same time, I thought I'd ask.
we get all the tricks. We get all the scenarios you could possibly think of, and especially at the call volume that we're at right now, we get a little bit of everything.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for bringing that up. So and again, let's assume that we're following the trajectory of actually completing an order. Here's how you ultimately start wrapping up your phone call. This is it. This is the final bit and piece of your phone call. And again, it could have been anything. It could have been you created a sale. A guest asked if you were open for the day, if their appointments are necessary to visit a store, if it's a warranty claim, regardless of what type of call we ultimately field. There's a specific protocol that we follow in order for us to get to a point where we can now respectfully say thank you for calling Living Spaces, and then we can go ahead and actually end our call. Our objective when we close our calls is to make sure that we summarize all the actions that we were able to complete, and then we cover any expectations that need to be set. This is particularly important if your guest is responsible for taking care of something in order for them to successfully get a fulfillment of a delivery, a warranty claim, etc. So here we are at the final bit of our little model here. We're providing some expectations, we're confirming some details, but then we're also kindly offering for additional assistance if a guest needs any before we can say thank you for calling. So to help us kind of keep track of which direction we're going in, we're going to look at this little circular model here because it does have the opportunity to repeat itself if a guest asks for more information, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So when we're providing correct expectations, our objective here is just to make sure that your guest, one more time, is fully aware of what they are responsible for and what they can expect from us in the event of things like a delivery, or what the terms and conditions are if they decide to cancel something within a given period of time. So to review again, if a guest is getting something like full service delivery or shipping, we need to, regardless of which option, communicate these 5 points. So I'd love a volunteer here. How would you communicate this first point to your guest? I just need someone to just pretend to say it. This is what T's been doing all day, but I want someone else to do it outside of T because I want, right? See, she knows.
I got it.
Go for it.
So we'll need to make sure that there's someone who's 18 or older at home during the time that we're providing for your delivery window. You'll need to make sure if it's not you, just someone else, as long as they're at your residence where we're delivering the furniture, to make sure that they can receive it.
Awesome. So great way to say it. Who's got the no fit? Who can go ahead and talk us through that point?
Want me to jump in again?
No.
Oh,
I guess
rude.
I was waiting for somebody else to go. I guess I'll go.
Oh, go for it. I got 2 volunteers.
Unless somebody else wants to go. Going once. Come on, don't fight about it. It's all right.
Oh, you, Jake, take it.
All
Take
right.
it away.
Karen wants to do it. I see Karen unmuting herself. Go for it, Karen.
Oh, yeah.
So you absolutely can, or you could simply, again, because ultimately the responsibility falls on that of your guest, you could simply summarize and remind them that for everything that you've purchased, you need to make sure that all of these items are going to fit through doorways, hallways, staircases, and ultimately the intended space for where you want this furniture to be. Something that you'll see tomorrow, and thank you so much, Karen. It's good that we want to definitely empathize and support them as much as we can, so we can provide them information like, hey, let's remind you, your sofa is 100 inches across and it's 36 inches deep. Is your door at least 32, 36 inches, right? That's a good scenario that you could provide for them over the phone. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't fit, the living spaces doesn't just take it back and say, oh, it's okay. That was their responsibility to make sure that everything was going to work. Fees will incur if things don't fit in their intended space. Something
Like,
that you'll, oh, go ahead.
yeah, like we have to say that not only will fit like you have the space in your home, but also it will fit through the door, so we can put it inside. So you have to make sure that both situations are correct,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And you'll see examples of this tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow, in that little shopping spree activity that you folks did, where you went and you bought yourself some stuff or found some items on the Living Spaces website. When you put it into our system, you'll notice there are some triggers that'll pop up. It'll say things like large furniture. That's a prompt for you to tell your guests, hey, if no one told you, this is actually one of our bigger pieces of furniture. Can we review again if you live in a home or an apartment? And if they tell you, I live in a condo, and they're getting the biggest sectional we have, you might want to let them know it's probably not going to fit. Otherwise, they're going to just incur some fees. Who's got the track delivery script? Who? Thank you. Go for it.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, so at the same day that they are gonna receive the delivery, they could track that through the website.
Yes, please track it through the website. Otherwise, they're stuck and left kind of calling you, and they're waiting on the phone when they could have just checked it on our website. Nelly, I saw that your hand was up. Do you want to walk us through the 48-hour rule?
Yeah, I'll try that one.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Just make sure that if you do decide to make any changes to your order, give us at least 48 hours before and give us a call and let us know, just so that there's no additional fees applied.
That is really well said there. Thank you for carefully using that language. And I'll be honest with everybody here on the call. This is actually one of the trickiest components that we share for our delivery. So language choice is really important. Give us at least, or give us more than 48 hours prior to your scheduled delivery. Otherwise, fees incur. So don't call us the night before. Don't call us the day of to take off something on your order. Maximum penalties would incur, and we wouldn't want that happening. Last but not least, who's got the 3-hour ETA? Who's going to walk us through that one? I see Jay wants it. He's like looking around the camera. Go for it, Jay.
Nobody else is gonna say anything. I'm checking. Nelly
I'm
was like,
gonna
oh,
Yes. So they get a prompt the night prior. It's either an automated message or so a voicemail or a text message that reduces their 6-hour original delivery window down to 3. So that way your guest does not have to wait from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They only have to wait from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., or 8 a.m. to noon, which is a much more reasonable window for our guests to operate out of. Excellent. So again, we provide this information if your guest is ultimately opting in for delivery. So these are these scripts, these are these points, and we just kind of went through them. So we won't spend too much time on them right now. But this is non-negotiable. If any time a guest calls in and we place an order for them delivery-wise, we have to communicate these points. Failure to communicate any one of these ultimately sets your guests up to pay for fees that they may not have known they would have needed to produce. And we want to avoid that at all costs. And again, we want to also make sure that we don't accidentally create any operational failure on our end either. When it comes to pickups, right? So validating lead times, make sure that again, if you find out that the system allows you to generate a pickup for Thursday at the Rancho Cucamonga store, that you tell them that it's Thursday at the Rancho Cucamonga store. And the person that makes the purchase should be the one that actually arrives to pick up those items, because they need to provide valid identification. Letting them know that our current CPU hours are from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. is roughly the standard right now across our organization. Our team will help them load their items into their vehicle, but the guest is responsible for ultimately tying that down. And again, as a reminder, if someone could tell me through chat or on the microphone, why is it the guest's responsibility to tie down their furniture?
I think that is because if we didn't, if the customer didn't pick up the item, we will charge them an extra fee, because we already have the product in our store. So to keep it there, they will have to cover that fee, right?
So way to bring up again how fees ultimately work with what happens if we don't have guests pick up their items, and there's potential fees for that. Absolutely. What about and I'm seeing it come through the chat, right? Why do the living spaces employees not tie down the furniture once your guest picks it up?
Well, sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, you mentioned earlier a story about what happened in the highway. So we'll help the guest load the items in the car, but no tie it up, because he might fail while he's driving the car, and we'll have to assume responsibility there.
Correct. And that's not a fun situation for anybody.
Right.
So making sure that we communicate, we'll help you load to the best of our abilities everything into your vehicle. You just have to be responsible for making sure that you bring materials to either tie down the furniture, or that you have a vehicle large enough to support the items.
Yeah, I think it's because if we do the full service, it's because we want to take control and ownerships of our actions. But in the moment that you want to put your hands involved in that process, you will also have to take ownership of that. So in the case it goes wrong, you cannot blame us, like the company alone. You also have part on it. So that's kind of the risk that you take in order to save some couple of bucks. So
Right.
you have to measure like if it's the correct way for you to risk, because this is not like cheap items. They will be an item that you will spend a little bit higher, and it will be in your home. So I will think twice if I recommend someone like, yeah, do it by yourself and put it in your truck.
Franco, that's a really great way to kind of, again, just sell the value of why it just makes more sense for us to take care of it. There's the potential loss on the back, right? Either with extra time or money to have to redo some of these things. Our guests don't often think of that up front, because they're fascinated by the idea of, again, not spending money or saying that they can take care of it for themselves. And so when we can create opportunities to have us just take care of it, it makes so much more sense. I'll tell you another fun story. We opened up a location in a Southern California market this time last year. Just popped up on my Facebook feed. It's just south of San Francisco. And a gentleman purchased a really beautiful dining table right from the sales floor with chairs and everything. And it could fit like 8-10 people. And when we asked this guest if they were ready to actually take this item home with them, they said, yes, I have a car. I'll pull it around the back. And we asked, are you sure the car is big enough? Are you sure that you can take care of it? Yes, absolutely. I'm ready to take this table. Gentleman shows up with his vehicle, and the vehicle of choice was a Prius. It was a very small little hybrid car for a big table that could fit 8, 10 people. It's not the best choice. And the guest ultimately had to pay 2 additional fees. He had to pay a fee for not being able to pick up, and then the delivery fee that he would have originally just paid for had he just said, yes, I want this delivered. And he had to wait an extra 3 days. So we had to send it back to the distribution center before we can send it to his house. So think twice. And again, just communicate these details to your guests so that way we don't create scenarios like that along the way.
Like, yeah, I think that there must be a way like we can give them information, but don't feel like we are greedy and we want them their money. No, it's like I will try to guide them to think like the risk is really valuable. Are you really trying? Like it could go good and you could save some bucks, but if not, that's the answer. Like,
Yeah.
You could even
Yeah.
just lead it to saying, you know, you might be damaging your fancy Prius,
Yeah, that too.
right? Like this thing could weigh like 300 pounds and you want to strap it to the top of your Prius. Man, I'd hate for your new Prius to get scratched.
Right. Some good thoughts
yeah,
here. And
yeah, it could be Bobby Tesla. Like it could go. He will
Yeah,
not like.
Bobby's Tesla could get broke. He'll flip it on the freeway.
I'll make
Exactly.
sure I let him know. Oh my goodness. You guys are fantastic. Thank you. So special orders is a similar thing, right? Again, we want to communicate things appropriately so that way our guests don't fall under, again, the assumption that they're okay to make modifications that are not sensible for their order. Reminding our guests about 25%, right? So congratulate them. What a great, beautiful, awesome, exciting thing that your guests are going to be able to change colors and fabrics on a section, on a sofa, no extra charge. But remind them that if for whatever reason they change their mind, that day is the day that they can cancel their order without penalty. Otherwise, it's a 25% cancellation fee. Give me one moment here.
I have a question on this
Go ahead.
before that we continue. So I do see that in 25% rule, we have that they like that they when they make the payment, they have like a deposit or a retention of the 25% in case of cancellation, right? And then in the other one says that it's gonna be a refunds minus the 25%. So they okay. So from the total amount that they pay, they have a 25% plus of retention, or no?
That's a great question. I could see why that could be a little confusing. It's all, they're both the same thing. So some of our older language used to refer to the 25% fee as a deposit. So we used to call it a non-refundable deposit. It's essentially us holding back that 25%, and it's essentially just a fee that we're charging them that we don't give them back in the event that a guest cancels something. So if you purchase a $1,000 custom sectional, you're paying $1,000 today. And then if you call me tomorrow and you're like, oh no, I didn't want blue, I wanted pink, you would cancel and I would give you a refund of $775. I keep $225. So that's the 25%. Did I do my math right? I did that wrong. 250. You know what I'm saying. Wrong math. This is why we have calculators today. I'm sure that's a terrible thing for me.
Okay, so that 25% is gonna be from the total price that the customer already paid. It's not gonna be an additional amount, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
So refund minus 25%. If they
thank you.
cancel. Yeah, no, thank you for asking. And thank you for dealing with my really terrible math there. Keep in mind that as well, your guests throughout the entire time of production, if they make any cancellation or modification of that custom order, that fee applies, 25%. And that once we're ready to deliver that special order, once we reach their threshold, there are absolutely no returns or exchanges for buyer's remorse or preferences. It's exclusive to just defects or damages upon transit, because we don't want to take back custom order items that don't fit everyone's homes and tastes alike. We actually ultimately, for those exceptions that we've made in the past, we heavily discount them and then we try to sell them in our sales on our sales floors, and we essentially just lose all the profit that we would have made for those items anyway. So that's why we don't take them back due to customer preference or buyer's remorse.
Can I ask a quick question in regards to the returns?
Yes, go
Um,
ahead.
Because I understand that it's once they take, like once it's delivered, right? Like once they take ownership. If the truck's already loaded, like let's say the truck's an hour away and they call us up and they're like, you know, same example, right? I wanted pink instead. The blue is not for me, right? I mean, at that point, it's literally just a matter of minutes even before the truck would show up with less than an hour to go before they arrive. Are we still willing to take the 25% and allow for the rest of it? Or at that point, like, because it's already on a truck and on its way to them, do we consider that, you know, too late?
So just to reiterate, if the special order is already en route and it's about an hour away and they're like, I changed my mind, I don't want this anymore, can we take it back? So we can, but that's the maximum penalty now, right? So it's 25% that they forfeit because of the nature of the special order. And if let's say that's the only thing that's on their delivery, they forfeit delivery. So they lose all of it at that point. Quick question. Reiterating proper lead times. Again, right now, with many organizations, lead times are still, I think, just working to rebalance themselves out. So making sure that we understand that the special orders, I think T did a great job of this in an example earlier, right? That our job is to try to get that special order completed in that time frame that we provide. But this is an estimated period of time. So if we're telling you 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 10 weeks a day, it's our job to try to make sure that we keep to that. But it's an estimate. So it could be closer to the 6-week mark. It could be closer to the 10-week mark. And we will contact the guest once those items ultimately reach our distribution center, because that's when we can confirm that we can deliver all the goods to our guests. Again, really just review here as we kind of wrap up all the really cool portions that we've talked about today, because we're setting up for an activity in just a few moments. Successful parcel or drop ship. So a lot of you asked some really good questions earlier about this too. And again, this is just reiterating the fact that once the items are shipped, we have access to that information, assuming that we've collected their guest phone number, email address. They will get a shipping confirmation number from any one of the third parties that participate in parcel and UPS shipping. So parcel and drop ship. So that's FedEx, UPS, etc. Once they get that order number, they can track their order, and then it's up to them, the guests, to make sure that they're at home to receive their items. How many attempts do we make again? Show me your fingers. How many fingers? Right. Three fingers. We make 3 attempts, just like FedEx and UPS, to make sure that we can drop off these items at home. If they're not home, 3 of those attempts, we hold it at a local FedEx or UPS hub, which your guest is aware of where to find. Within a 5-day period of time. If the guest never picks up those items, they go back to the distribution center, or they go back to the factory where they came from. And then from there, that's where the refund process starts. If your guest does receive those items and they want to do a return or exchange, they do have to come back to a physical living spaces to get a refund. It says here, minus shipping charge, there is none. Because again, it's free shipping nationwide for things like rugs, tabletop accessories, pillows, lamps, etc. After 7 days, can they return it? No, they cannot. That makes a really great Christmas present for somebody else in their family this year. That's an idea. Trying to get creative. Okay. So let's say we do all of these things and we provide, again, these correct expectations as we finalize our order here. We want to just confirm, again, some other little details on what we were able to complete for our guests along the way. So things like, or saying things like, I just want to confirm, right, it was 2 of those dining chairs and 1 of those mattresses that we got on your order for delivery. Is that correct? yes, we can proceed. No, it was really 3 chairs. We make those adjustments. And as we confirm those transaction details, we just summarize our call here. And this is your opportunity to just go ahead and, as best as possible, regardless of how much time you spent with your guest on the phone, what you were able to do in 15 seconds or less. Okay, so Scott, I just want to check with you one more time. You called about a warranty claim about your sectional you've had for 6 months. We went ahead and created a warranty claim for you. You're going to hear back from our team in about 3 days to tell you about next steps. We just summarize everything that we do for our guests, because there's a lot of details that are happening. And between us doing our actions, our guests being placed on hold if we need to research something, this is just that way they know that we address their concerns along the way. Finally, we're at that point where, you know, Franco gets to ask, so after everything that I was able to do for you today, do you have any other questions for me, or is there any other way that I could assist you today? If your guest says no, you can proceed and just wrap up your call and say, thank you for calling Living Spaces. Once again, my name is Franco. It was a pleasure to assist you today. If Scott says yes, actually one more thing, if you're looking at the circle model, we do the whole thing over again. And then once we complete that second task or request, Franco asks again, all right, so I was able to do these 2 things for you. Is there anything else I can help you out with? If he says no, then you can proceed and you can tell him have a great day. If he says yes, do the whole thing over again. See where I'm getting with this? So, and this doesn't stop until you finally have answered all of your questions.
But why are you like that? Why can't you don't tell me everything at once?
Because I'm still deciding between the pink or the blue. So, and then you don't want a nice little chair going.
Well, you asked me, I would think the pink would be better with your eyes.
Oh, stop calling my eyes though, Franco.
I can see we've been making friends here in the last 5 days. That's what I'm getting out of this conversation. So, again, the purpose of offering additional assistance is simply so that way, and T, thanks for that really fun fact there, right? Additional assistance is one of JE Power Rewards for best customer service, so that's great. Again, we want to put ourselves in a position where I guess recognize that's what we're here to do. We're here to prioritize them and how to support them through their efforts. When we offer this assistance too, it also really just alleviates whether or not a guest feels the need to have to call back for anything. So if we appropriately summarize everything and we offer additional assistance, we can have a better guarantee of understanding that we're able to service our guests' needs. And then we wrap up with a generally branded close. So simply saying it was a pleasure to assist you today, or thank you for choosing Living Spaces. We want to, again, as a formality and to elevate our customer service experience, address our guests by name, and we can go ahead and let them know that they can have a great rest of their day. Some details that we'll cover next week when we start getting you closer to being on the phones is there is an option and an opportunity for your guests to participate in a brief survey after the call. If you feel that that's valuable to provide for them, it's not mandatory, but it is something that we provide and we'll show you systematically what that looks like if we do it. Yes, go ahead.
It's easier to voice it. Were you there, Clarissa?
Yeah.
You want to go first, baby?
Okay. So, I have a question about the survey. So are we able to let the customer know about that survey?
Yes.
Okay, so we can tell the customer, okay, so I really appreciate your, or it's a pleasure for me to assist you. It's like we're interested in Living Spaces. Once you drop the call, you're gonna receive a survey or something like that, or no?
Yes. So let's create some clarity around the 2 surveys that exist that you will be able to provide your guests. So, as a reminder from our earlier, the review, when a guest makes a purchase for brand new items, they get a survey emailed to them that rates the experience. Additionally, we have a survey that your guest can stay on the line for and immediately evaluate your guest services skills or your guest service experience over the phone. There's no incentive for that one, but you can prompt them that if they'd like to, they can stay on the line for a brief survey. And we're going to show you how to make that connection or how to prompt them to that next week when we get you on the phone.
Okay, so they're gonna receive 2 surveys. I'm pretty sure that I hear that the survey about the purchase, they're gonna receive it in the next 48 hours of the call, right?
No. So if they make a purchase, that survey gets emailed to them after they receive their furniture.
Okay, after the delivery day.
So that's the one that gives them the $25 survey coupon.
Okay.
The guest services survey, they stay on the line for. And it's like, I think 3 questions. How would you rate your guest service agent today? 1 to 5. Were your questions answered 1 to 5? Would you recommend Living Spaces guest services team 1 to 5? And then they get the hangout, and that's it. And you do not have to offer the second survey. It is an option. It's not mandatory. Great question. Thank you, Clarice. I appreciate that. Okay.
Before we move on, Julio, don't forget about me.
That's right. Well, lucky. It's like the slide was designed for you because it says, "Do you have any other questions?" And I know that you got a question, so.
Always. I have a million questions, but for now, I'm going to stick to the one around the customer name. I did see that throughout our opening and everything, we do have a very friendly, happy approach towards our guests. Yet I do pick up a little bit of professionalism as well. And what I wanted to clear up with you, as to the American culture, I'm not sure whether they would prefer to be called Julio or Mr. Montalvo.
You simply just ask for your guest name, and then from there it's just it's whatever you feel comfortable with. So if you feel comfortable addressing your guest by first name, you can do that. If you want to address them by their last name, you can do that as well. If they give you a preference, we operate out of their preference. That's it. But the first pass is always based off of what your comfort level is. Great question. Thanks for asking that. Any other questions that we've been able to review about, again, action, which again was a little bit kind of high level. I'll be completely transparent with all of you. And then next steps, which I think was a lot more tangible, because this is essentially the steps that we take to wrap up a phone call. Lunchtime, just kidding. Going once. Going twice. Okay. We're going to transition into a game. And this game is pretty fun, pretty exciting. Oh, somebody already walked away from the camera. They're like, nope, I'm not playing this game.
I mean, all the names you could use, you had to use Bowl of Doom.
Yes,
It could have been anything else, right?
Bowl of Doom. Yeah, so we're going to talk about. There's a little bit of drama there. Yeah, I may or may not pull up a soundtrack for us to listen to as we stress ourselves out and play this game here. But this is a really fun and just unique opportunity for us to go ahead and collaborate with one another, review some notes before we actually kind of essentially in a game show format quiz all of you on anything that we've discussed in the last 4 days together. Some of you are like, oh no. And that's completely okay, because we're going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and regroup as a team here for you to work together to create some opportunities for you to play what you see on the screen. So as your facilitator, I'm going to have the opportunity for the next X amount of time to call any participant at random. Once a participant has been chosen, I will go ahead and display a question on the screen for you. As the chosen one, you have to answer the question to the best of your ability, and I would challenge you, especially since we reviewed quite a bit today, and answer these questions without referencing notes. If necessary and you need some support, you can always call on somebody else on the Zoom chat or on camera as a lifeline. Just be careful who you choose, because of course you want to pick on someone that's going to be able to help you with the right answer instead of accidentally give you the information and prompts you with the wrong answer. Who's excited? Oh, good. We have.
I'm about to lose my internet connection. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the cable. It's about to see. Look, all right.
It's very convenient. Yeah. Clarice is
You
trying to
can
cover the
call
camera.
anybody, right, in the Zoom chat?
Yeah, you can technically call on anybody. And so here's what I'd like to ask all of you. Would you all find it beneficial if you took time to review some of your notes together? Or do you want to just jump on in and play the game?
Let's just go.
I see jump. I'll read the chat if anyone sends anything, or you can tell me otherwise. Let me see. Show of hands. Who wants some study time? Who wants to study for a little bit? One person wants to study. 2 people want to study. All in favor of just jump right in. Ooh.
You got this, team. You got this. We're all in it together, right?
I think I need to see a demonstration, an example. I'm sorry, I'm not that good at games. Actually, I suck at games, so I may need an example.
Absolutely. Karen, let's just make you go first. And I'm just kidding. That was a terrible form of me, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that. Look at the support that's coming through the chat here. So, and we're here for everybody. This is low, no risk. Play the game here. It's simply just an opportunity to kind of quiz you on what we've been able to review for the last couple of weeks here. Let's do this because this game does take a little bit of time to play, and there's 16 questions. We're gonna actually go ahead and do a quick break. So let's go ahead and do a 10-minute break. Use that. I know I'm just building suspense, aren't I? So in these 10 minutes. I know. I know. Well, that's what
I think, and I do that sometimes, I think that it would be best to actually take a break after our brains are busted, I'm just saying. Look at Scott. Right, Scott. Yeah, right.
I disagree with you to back you up, buddy.
I am loving the camaraderie when
because if they take the break now, we're not going to enjoy it because we're going to take the break to read notes. That's what I would do, right?
Okay. Here we go. So
I'm just saying, but everybody could say something. That's my opinion that belongs to me personally, or directly me, right?
I love it. So I'm gonna do my due diligence. Then I'm already scrolling through. So let's call it 10 minutes. We're gonna hop right in then. Just based off of unanimous order. Look at that. And I'm just gonna close my eyes and I'll take somebody at random on my screen here. Okay, so I see that Lori, if you're on the call, you're first up.
Hello. Yes, I've been on and off today. I've been in a million meetings, but I wanted to catch up with you guys.
No worries. So Lori, because I know you've been on and off today, you could either go or you could just hit skip and then we can come back to you later. Would you like to go or skip?
I would like to skip because
That's completely okay because Jose was next on my list anyway. Right, Jose. Here we go.
all yours, Jose.
Round of applause for being our first contestant. Look at that, Jose.
Let's take the break.
Yeah. Okay. So here's how this works. So I'm going to just go ahead and show you a question on the screen. It's your job to just try to answer to the best of your abilities. Don't remember, you can call on a person on Zoom. And for anyone else that wants to try to send answers and just to validate if right, you can send me a direct message. Don't send a group message. Send me a direct message on the Zoom chat. I think my name, and I can tell you if the audience is doing well or not well with that question. Okay, so we'll play like multiple against at the same time here. Are you ready, sir? Ready, Jose?
I am not ready, boy. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Great answer. So, Jose, this is a callback to my Monday's content. And on Monday, and a couple of days after that, we've actually learned about the biggest value propositions at Living Spaces, and 5 specifically that are our highlights in our organization. What are the big 5 value propositions that we have at Living Spaces.
Let me think about it.
No, please do. And again, for anyone that wants to maybe test their answers, they can send me direct chats on Zoom. All you have to do is make sure you, instead of clicking everyone, just find my name, and I can chat you back if I'm right or if I'm wrong. 5 value propositions.
I think that innovation.
Okay.
That's one.
That's one of our values.
That's a value. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. People are flickering through notes right now, which is fine. It's totally okay. That's why we do this. God's trying to help you out.
What is important, brother? What is important?
Sorry? My money. It's just, I actually texting someone. Can I do that, right?
Yeah, you can. You can pick somebody on camera right now to help you out. Karen, you're really close. You only have you're missing one.
I think, brother, I think like when you buy something, you look at me.
Price?
That's one of them.
That's one.
You got this. Style.
Yeah. That's 2.
Quality.
That's 3.
Non-commission.
Yeah.
Stock.
Let's give him a round of applause. Way to sweat it out. As a leader, maybe make your team proud.
Thank you.
Look at that. Okay. So just remember, last time you do 3 more after this. I'm just kidding. So that's all, folks. That's the game. So Karen, hopefully that helps out. So that's all that's going to happen. I'm just going to pick people at random, and then we're going to ask them the hard questions, and we hope that they can answer it on their own. And if they need help, they can go ahead and get some help. Thumbs up if everyone's ready to go. Shall we do it? Yes, let's do it. Let's just jump right in then. I love it. Look at that enthusiasm. My next question is going to go to, oh, where did you go? Cotton Eye Joe. Nelly. So Nelly, this is for you to just use your empathy skills here. So how would you address this guest? And so pretend I'm this guest and I call you and you say, thank you for calling. And I'm telling you, my new dining set was delivered and it looks great, but 2 of the chairs are wobbly. My guests were complaining about their chairs during my housewarming party. It was so embarrassing. How would you use empathy to respond to me?
I truly do apologize for that. As a customer myself, I would be so embarrassed if that happened to me. Let me go ahead and take care of this for you today. And let's go ahead and pull up your account and get this taken care of.
Let's give her a round of applause. I love the word choice there. Nice job, Nelly. Look at that. Setting the bar here. Scott saying go. It's fantastic. All right. Scott, since I just read your comment here, you're next. So let's just get our folks out of La Mirada, California out of the way here. Scott, are you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
Absolutely. Look at him. He's fired up. He's ready. Scott, what are the 5 key points we need to communicate to our guests to ensure a successful full service delivery?
Okay, wonderful. So we need to make sure that they are aware of the delivery time. We need to make sure that there's somebody who's there above 18. We need to make sure that they have the no fit rule in place. So there's a clear path to the room where you want us to put it. There's nothing in the way. You want to make sure that it fits. You know, if you need to lay down tape just to hit the dimensions to make sure that the piece of furniture is going to fit where exactly how you want it to go. Stalling a little bit now on the others. You know what? I'll be honest, I just lost it.
No, it's okay.
Adam, and I just lost it.
Hang
So
in there,
I'm going
Scott.
to call, I'm gonna phone a friend here. And now I was told I can use anyone in Zoom, right?
You could use anyone on Zoom right now.
Okay, then Julio, you're gonna be my go-to guy to help me fill out these last couple key points. Because as I specified 3 times, anyone on the Zoom call. So.
Listen,
if you
man,
don't mind,
Julio,
Julio.
I
jump in.
told you before, Scott is dangerous. I told you guys before, didn't I?
I see
I
that
read the
now.
fine print. I read the fine print.
I
Yes,
see
you
that
did,
now.
brother. You did.
So if you wouldn't mind helping me out here with these couple key points that I am blanking out on right now.
Yeah.
So what am I missing to make sure that our guest gets the proper full service delivery without any extra fees or anything else involved?
So unlucky for you, I help by asking you questions. So let's do this together here then. And again, for anyone that wants to review their answers, you can send me direct chats as well. So this is what Scott was able to tell us already. So Scott said someone over the age of 18. Scott also mentioned confirming a delivery window, and we can expand on that just a little bit, but we'll leave it there for right now. And then Scott also mentioned the no fit tool. So making sure that the furniture that your guest purchases is going to fit through any doorways, hallways, intended space. 2 other points here. What else do guests need to be aware of? How else do we communicate to our guests? Scott mentioned something about fees.
Oh, cancellation fees and things that would be involved if we don't properly, like for example, if someone's not home, the guest should be aware of what that's going to cost them to set up a new shipment or a new delivery.
Good detail to share with our guests, not one of the 5 successful points. But let's change some of that answer a little bit and consider maybe the time frame that they have to make those changes or to set those arrangements up so that way they don't incur any fees. How much time do they have? What's that rule that we operate out of? Clarice, yes, you're right. You sent me something good on the chat here.
Oh, the 48-hour prior to scheduled delivery.
I like it. Yes. So making sure that they contact us more than 48 hours prior to their scheduled delivery. So that way you don't incur any fees.
Because once they're within it, that's when the fees hit.
And I need one more. I need one more.
All right, guys. Looking towards my team.
One more.
Julio,
What,
can you check my chat to see if my response is the right one?
Do we
Yes,
tell you or?
That's actually a better way of addressing that time one that Scott mentioned. So that is one of them. We still need one more. We still need
Scott, check your chat. Bye.
Oh, look at that. Coming in hot. Clarice, yes, that is the last point.
God, think of the answer. Every answer that you don't respond, Bobby cry.
Oh no, I want to make Bobby cry.
One
Don't
more.
make sad Bobby.
How would our guests know where their stuff is?
Oh, they can track the delivery. Oh yes, track your delivery right online day of, so you don't have to be bothered calling in and waiting on hold for one of us.
Let's give Scott a round of applause. I love it.
Thank you for the breadcrumbs to get there, even though some of those breadcrumbs are bigger than others.
Fantastic. So let's review a couple of these points. And again, Scott, nice job. We're just gonna maybe give a little bit more juice to one of your answers here. So nice job on someone over the age of 18 needs to be home. Guests need to ensure that everything's going to fit. Changes can be made 48 hours or more prior to their scheduled delivery without any fees. Your delivery time point that you made fits a little bit better. It gets again more emphasized with point 4 here, that their delivery window is reduced from 6 hours to 3 hours the night prior. And that's through automated messaging, through text or phone call. And again, they can track their delivery on the day of delivery, on the time of delivery, using our Living Spaces website. Nice job, Scott. Jay, are you ready?
I don't know.
Let's give it a go. Let's try it. All right, Jay. It's been 5 days since Cher received her new sectional, and she's thinking that she should have bought a different one instead. She calls you, Jay, and asks what options she has to either return or exchange for something new. What fees would Cher pay if she exchanged her sectional for something that cost less?
It would be a 5% fee.
Is that the only fee given the scenario?
Well, let me see. Is a new sectional. She's gonna forfeit her delivery fee. And yeah, because and then wait, is it a yeah? Oh no, wait, is it if it's less than what she paid is 10%, not 5%. Sorry. 5% if he pays actually more for it. So it's 10%. She pays for something that's if it's less, right? For when she applies the return, she's still within the time frame because it's 7 days. She called within 5 days. And then I'm not sure if you have to pay for restocking fee because we have to take it back, right? But I'm sure she has to forfeit the delivery fee, right? And she has to go ahead and pay for that again. For us to go ahead and take it back to us. I don't remember the exact amount, but I believe it was at $59 to take it back. Not sure.
Right.
That's out of my bag, no notes.
And I like that. Does anyone want to maybe clean up a little bit of what Jay shared with us? Because like 80 to 90% of it is there. So we just need to kind of get like a definitive answer if possible. I see, let's see, Karen, yes on your fee here. T, no, we wouldn't need to pay that. Karen, it's technically an exchange. All right. Well, who thinks that they can kind of piece this one together for us?
Okay, so the customer will have to we're gonna keep the 10% of the first purchase, and the customer is gonna lose the delivery fee, right? Then in the case that it have, and then for us to pick that item from her house, she have to cover the fee in this second time.
Okay, getting close there. Oh man, I want to help you guys out. You guys want a lifeline? You guys want a little help there on this one?
Can I take a stab at that?
Let's. $10% is the fee for making this exchange, because that's essentially what we're doing, because she wants something that costs less. So it's 10% plus what?
Whatever else she's gonna buy. Because if she's exchanging something that, costs less, granted, the refund can be put towards that, but she's still gonna be repaying, the new delivery fee and whatever else is involved with the new piece of furniture as well.
I'll help you out with this one a little bit. And Scott, that could probably definitely happen if a guest wants to say, well, if Cher just wants to buy more stuff. And the feedback that I'll provide for all of you is you were probably saying it. I'm just going to clean up your language. I'm going to clean up your language on just one word, which is forfeit. There's nothing that we're forfeiting because we've completed a job. So when we say we forfeit a delivery, it's because we're either en route or we're almost to a guest or we're canceling something before we even go out. So that's what we mean when we say we're going to forfeit something like a delivery fee. So instead, for this situation, it's a 10% restocking fee plus a new delivery fee, because we do have to go out there again to pick up her sectional and give her new one. I saw the head nods for a second there. Thumbs up if that makes sense.
But that's what I said to you. We would need to cover the shipping fee.
So
Shipping
shipping.
and delivery is not the same. That's why.
So whatever the delivery and or shipping fee is, and T, if you said that, then I missed it, and I'm so sorry. If I
So
missed
wait,
it,
the only thing I said wrong was I said forfeit the
that's
delivery.
it. That's it. And then you
You're
kept talking
dangerous
about other
too.
fees, and
You're
I was just
dangerous too. You and Scott are dangerous.
yeah. So and it's just that finite little detail, right? And the
Yep.
reason I'm pressing so much on it now is because I want you to be comfortable with that language. So I
Sure.
like it. So and thank you, Jay, for participating and going
No,
through that.
thank
And
you.
T,
I
I
get
have
that
a
out of
question.
exemplar
yes,
right now.
please.
I have a question before we move on.
Yes.
So you mentioned that in this case, the customer will have to cover the 10% of the restocking fee and a new delivery fee,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But I want to know if in this second delivery, we are gonna pick the first item that the customer purchased and leave the new items, right?
Correct.
So it's gonna be a full service, right?
More than likely.
It
So-
will have to be a full, I don't know. It will have to be a full service because the driver will have to go in my house in order to pick that.
It can be. We can also do exchanges through shipping.
Okay.
There are other details that are not deep. There's actually less that's involved with that. In the case of a sectional, there's not a lot of assembly, so your guest is just responsible for putting everything back in original packaging. And that's it. So long as everything is left outside, we can swap.
Okay. So when we are gonna
Jaden,
apply the
ayúdame.
return, sorry. So when we are gonna
Jaden.
apply, oh. So when we are gonna apply the return and exchange fees?
When?
Yeah.
We'll show you next week.
Okay.
Because again, if I talk you through it right now, it'll get messy because you're not having you don't have a system to look at right now. But when this
Okay.
guest calls, you essentially would do it at the time of that call.
Okay.
Set up the exchange. Thumbs up if everyone's good with this one. Again, 10% restocking fee because we know that Shares pick something that costs less, and there's a new delivery fee. Whether it's shipping, full service, there's just another fee that's associated with it. Not necessarily forfeiting because we completed our first job, and so we're just charging her for a new job.
I promise I'll never forget the word forfeit again.
It's okay. We got one more in us here before we transition to a break, because we will break, because otherwise you guys are going to be here for forever, and we want to get you to walk away from your screen every once in a while. So Robert, you're next. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Oh, look at that. He's just pumped. He's ready to go. All right, Robert.
Oh.
Our logistic network is what makes sending furniture to our guests so fast, fun, and easy. Name all 6 of our distribution centers.
Okay, that's
In alphabetical order, please.
No. That would be terrible.
all right.
He said that
we
you
have-
can. He said that you cannot check notes, but you can go to the website. He never said nothing about that.
You guys are crafty.
Right, man, we're a sharp crowd.
You know, I remember this for the last 2 days, but I don't know why. I just forgot it. Let me just think. Let me see. 6
Absolutely.
distributions.
Rialto.
Oh, okay, good one.
Sorry, I had a cough.
Including the RDC or no?
Yes. Oh, very
Yes.
good. Including the
Very-
RDC. Yes.
Okay, so well, Rialto DC it's 1.
Yep.
Let's see. I think Grand Prayer.
Yep. Grand Prairie. That's 2.
Grand Prayer, yeah. Let's see. What's the other? There was one close to Las Vegas. Let me see. Okay, wait. Fremont.
Fremont is one. Yes.
Um, oh, right. Phoenix. Phoenix?
Phoenix.
That's also, yes.
Excellent.
Um, Paris.
Yes.
Yes. There's one more, right?
There's one more.
Um, it was, the name is a pretty hard name. I think it was Pflugerville.
Yeah, that's it. Nice job, sir. Way to go. And for those that helped them out, thank you. Appreciate that. If you didn't, that's all the better for you, Robert. So yeah, 6 distribution centers today. And it's this network, it's this infrastructure that allows us to ship again just about anything you see on our website to our local and immediate markets, as well as anyone else nationwide in the lower 48 of the United States. Fantastic. You guys are doing really good here. I like this. Let's take a break because again, otherwise we're gonna be sitting here all day. So I've got 2:15 here. So 2:25, when we come back, we finish out the rest of all of these questions. All right, and then we go to a commercial break here. So let's just take 10 minutes.
All right.
See you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Let us continue with all things Bowl of Doom, where the only prize is bragging rights, truly. All right. My next question coincidentally happens to be right here in the middle of all of my webcam view here. T, are you ready for your question, T?
No, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Absolutely, we are. That's the can-do spirit there. I love it. All right, T, here we go. Our question for you is as follows. We have emphasized our mission statement this entire week to some extent. Can you recite the mission statement for Living Spaces?
Not perfectly, but I have practiced it.
Let's do it. I'm ready for you.
Okay, I'm not checking. Let's go. Let me just think.
Yep.
I know it was about our designs. I know it was about, let me just give me a second.
Yeah.
I practiced it at length. Come on, Tyrene, you can do it.
You got this, girl.
Let me just refresh my mind.
I see everyone furiously scrolling through their notes as well to find. So again, for anyone that wants to, again, private message me, reference your responses, I'd be more than happy to spot check it.
Great. Okay. I got this. Professional voice, acting voice, here we go. At Living Spaces, we make furniture shopping fast, fun, and easy with our wide selection of exciting, well-priced designs. So you can celebrate life's moments in a home you love.
Let's give her a round of applause. Nice job there. Karen, I saw your response come through as well. Very excellent. All right, folks. At the very minimum, understanding just the fact that our goal in any part of our organization, whether it's retail, guest services, marketing, human resources, learning and development, doesn't matter. Our objective here is how do we make things fast, fun, and easy. Right? So you've all been called upon to make these experiences for our guests fast, fun, and easy. And we happen to do it in a number of ways, as you see in the mission statement. Nice job, T. Really proud of you there. Karen, it is your time to shine on camera. You've been doing so great on the chat, so I know that you've got it in you. All right, let's go, Karen. So question is this. It's 5 p.m. today, and I call you. I'm the guest, and I want to cancel my delivery that's scheduled for tonight between 6 to midnight. Please tell me all of the appropriate fees that I have to pay as a result of my decision. Some good thoughts. I see the thinking faces on camera. This is good. Yep. Nothing to reschedule yet. I just want to cancel my delivery. In this situation, I just am interested in canceling. What are my fees? Remember, you can also call a lifeline should you need support. For everyone else, you can also direct message me what you think the answer is. I can cross-reference.
Karen.
You're getting close though, Karen. I feel it. I feel it. Jay, yes, you are absolutely right on your answer. Okay. 5% cancellation fee. Any other fees? Anything else? Now we're talking. Let's give her a round of applause. Way to go. Way to use your resources there, Karen. Way to hang in there. Not ask for support and just rest on your laurels and just trust yourself there. So let's evaluate the situation. Because this is already en route, or excuse me, because it's already 5 p.m. today and I'm canceling 6 to midnight, those are same day delivery windows. So this counts as a full penalty. So the cancellation of the order, we treat like a 10% restocking fee. And that delivery that the guest has paid for, regardless of the day it was, for that day, they forfeited entirely. So it's a complete penalty there on the guest's behalf. So thank you so much, Karen. Really nice job there. I wasn't gonna say like we're not celebrating this stuff. Like we need like, there we go. We need thumbs up. We need party horns. We need everything. All right.
Ulo.
Clarice, are you on camera there still? Or near the phone or the Zoom?
Here,
Wonderful, because you're next.
I don't know what happened with your camera.
She vanished.
I know.
But I'm ready, don't worry.
Okay, no, I believe you. It's just a little hard to hear you, but you're good.
Can you hear me
she's
better
back.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Here.
now.
I'm here.
All right, Clarice, here we go. This is for you. So our guest Melanie calls you, or excuse me, our guest Melanie visits the store, a store earlier this morning, and she wants to special order a brand new sectional in blue. She calls you right now, and right now it's 2:35 Pacific Standard Time, to tell you that she's changed her mind and wants to cancel her special order. Would she be charged a fee? If so, how much?
Okay, so because the cancellation is before 8 p.m., we can do it without fees.
Yes. Nice job. Let's give Clarice a round of applause. Thank you for just jumping on in there with some confidence. And then Sini, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Am I Sini? Yeah, fantastic. You don't have to worry about being scared being the last one because you're next, actually. It's actually on my post-it note right here. I already wrote it down. So, so this one's for you. Provide at least 2 examples of items or inventory that would be considered final sale once a guest takes possession of these items? And we had a nice debate about this morning, so I'm curious to hear your answer. At least 2 examples.
All right, it would be bedding clothes. I forget the correct name, and mattresses.
Ooh, yeah. Does anyone want to add another one just for fun?
Oh yes, outlet items. No,
Not
outlet.
quite, not
Okay, okay. Give me a hint, guys.
Remember, we classified outlet similarly to that of clearance. We gave a new term for those items that are final sale. What was that? Scott's giving you part of that word. Franco's trying to mouth it out. I saw it earlier. He was trying to speak.
Special orders, but no, because the special orders actually there is a penalty for it, 25%, right?
Well, actually, a special order technically is considered final sale once it meets the threshold. So that is a good example. So I'll give you a round of
Okay,
applause for that one. That's great.
okay, okay.
So there are many, although we don't talk about them frequently. You name 2 of the most important ones: bedding products.
Oh, as items,
Yeah.
as items, floor model
Bedding
items.
products
Okay,
like sheets, protectors, pillows, final sale, mattresses specifically that do not come with a sleep truck. Remember, some of them you can try them in home for a little bit. And as is items, floor model items. You mentioned special orders once the guest takes possession of them. Any item that a guest has for more than 7 days, all that stuff, done. It's yours. You got to keep it. Nice job, Cini. Round of applause for Cini. Very, very, very good. I'm liking it. Ranko, where'd you go, sir?
Oh no.
Oh, no. All right. The lights off and everything. He's like, don't look at me. All right, here we go, Franco. So Jason sells a sofa and a love seat to a guest earlier today in one of our stores and scheduled a same-day delivery for tonight. It's now 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the guest called to cancel the order. First, does this guest incur any fees? And if so, how much? So purchase was made today.
It was today, right? He placed the
Yeah.
order today, and okay, it's the same day. So yeah, he will get some fees now. How much? That's the issue. How much it will be? 10%. It will be like the previous example. It's really similar. So it will be 10%, like restocking fee, something like that.
Anything else?
Well, it will make me feel sad because he canceled the order, but that's emotional currency. I don't think that counts. Anything else? I think the for free, the delivery fee also.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause. So it's just it's a similar scenario, just worded differently. So good. So we're kind of getting the hang of it. See, we did this on purpose so that we can make sure that there's some alignment here. So similar example, just different names with different items. Because we're canceling a same day order, you get maximum penalties. So again, you forfeit those delivery fee funds, and there's a 10%, what we would essentially call just a restocking fee or cancellation fee. We treat it like a return. So you're out X amount of dollars. Nice job there. See, your peers are kind of chatting you along. That's fantastic. I like it. Let's see, where did you go? I'm looking for you. Oh, it's not. Am I crazy? Didn't we have Pierre on here earlier? Gone now? She's gone. All right. You know what that means? So we do this all over again. That means Jose goes again. That's Jose, are you ready for round 2?
Go. Always ready. Just
Oh,
kidding.
wonderful. Yeah. Look at that. Look at how the enthusiasm has changed. So, sir, we talked about this today. Explain the differences between a gift card, a Goodwill card, and a promo card. Again, for those
Okay.
adventurous, you can send me direct messages in the chats, and I will go ahead and validate your responses.
I think that I came in at the middle when you was explaining that, but let me try to think about that.
Yeah. And we got some lifelines to help you out here.
Yes, yes. Mm,
Clarissa's smiling. She's like, I know.
okay. So I remember that someone asked about promo card that that is only for a year, I think, expiration.
Excellent. That's a great detail about promo cards. They do expire.
It could be transferable, so that means that if you take it from my wallet, you can go ahead and use it.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, I remember that a gift card does not have like an expiration date.
Excellent.
I don't remember that much about Goodwill cards. Let me.
You're close. You're right there.
Hold on. Let me ask for help.
Yes. Yes. Use the resources.
Yeah. I think that Goodwill cards is when we provide like compensations to our clients, like for disappointment.
I love it. That's a great little summary there. Nice job there, Jose. Let's give him a round of applause there. A couple of other little details to provide for all of you just to summarize again that conversation we had. So all of these, excuse me, in order, I should say, a gift card is a form of payment with no expiration date. It can be purchased in store. So we don't sell them over the phone, but the guests can come in and actually just purchase a gift card. The Goodwill card is compensation that's offered to guests on orders. We call these like the I'm sorry cards. So this is when we've made a mistake and we need to say, we need to give you some form of compensation to, again, we say we appreciate your business. We're sorry that something happened along the way. And the promo card, specifically valued at about $300, is given based off of exclusive mattress purchases. So not every mattress qualifies for this, but if they happen to elect one that does, they get this in the form of a card that they just need to spend by the end of that calendar year. Nice job there, Jose. Appreciate you playing the game. Scott.
You're welcome.
We come to you once again, sir. List at least 3 features or benefits about our care program. It could be associated with cost, coverage, the length of coverage.
We got this. So our Carefree program is there for our guests as sort of a version of an extended warranty that can last them up to 5 years on most items. I believe it goes up to 10 years on the, I forget what was the, I also forget what it was. 5 years for most items, though I'll stick with that. It increases the amount of essentially warranty coverage from just being parts to cutting off like labor, transportation fees, and covers most accidents in the home, which when we talked earlier was in regards to kids and anything else that may come up as far as spills or accidents. And then as far as cost, if I recall, it was 15% of the purchase price. Yeah. And the biggest benefit on the back end of it was easily the win-win side of it, where if they don't make a claim using that coverage, at the end of that term, they have 60 days to be able to basically turn in that voucher, and they get the money back as essentially what sounds like a gift card, but we didn't use the term gift card, but it'll be put towards that next purchase for furniture.
That is a highly comprehensive summary of something we just walked you through today. Very nice job, Scott. Let's give this gentleman a round of applause here. So let's summarize some of these points that he just walked us through. As a reminder, again, only 15% of the price of whatever your guest elects to protect. It's 5 years worth of coverage on manufacturer defects and most accidents. It's 10 years on our power bases. So yeah, you were right there. I knew you were like really, really, really close. One of the coolest things about it is it does come with that win-win voucher. So again, we say that our guests win if they use the program and they win if they don't, because they either get coverage that they need or they get that money back, that investment back in the form of a voucher to invite them to come back to make another purchase. And the one thing that we very briefly talked about is that multiple claims can be made. So if again, Scott purchases a $1,000 sectional and it costs him $150 to cover his sectional for 5 years, and he spills wine on it today, that doesn't mean that next month he can't make a claim on him accidentally breaking the frame of his sofa. He can still do that. And then after that, if he spills wine on it again because he's so excited that we fixed his broken frame on his sofa, he can make that claim too. So multiple claims can be made over a 5-year period of time, which is again a really awesome benefit of this program. Nicely done, Scott. Nelly, are you ready? I love how calm, cool, and collected you are right now. You're like, yes. Like I've been waiting for this moment. So, you know what, Nelly? I can't make you do another empathy one. That would just be cheating. So I'm just going to give this to Jay. I'll give you the next one, Nelly. Jay, we need you to use your empathy, sir, because I'm a guest calling you. You say, thank you for calling. How can I help you? And I tell you, a button on my recliner has stopped working and now it's stuck in the open position. I'm so frustrated. What am I supposed to do? How do you empathically respond to my concern?
Oh my God, Julio. I could definitely relate to your position right now. I'm really sorry that it happened. This usually doesn't happen, so I'm pretty sure we could go ahead and check into that. If you give me the opportunity, I'll help you out and see how we could correct this problem. So, and again, I'm really sorry that you have to go through this, because I can only imagine to be watching your football game and you went for a beer and come back and now, the game is over and want to close it out and you can't. So let me see how I can help you out with that, Julio, if you give me an opportunity. Would that be okay?
That would be fantastic. Thank you. Nice job, Jay. Way to use your empathy, way to relate. If only I
so you want to go ahead and unplug that and then kick that down, brother, and it goes down. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right.
If only I watch sports too. All right, we're moving on. So on to our next contestant. We're going to go back to Nelly here. So Nelly, explain as many differences as you can recall between full service and shipping. So try to provide us with the differences between full service and shipping.
Sorry. So for full service, you get to we get to set up everything for you. We put it wherever you want us to put it at. We'll take, I know they'll take the mattress, like if it's a mattress. We'll take the trash. That's full service. Shipping, we're pretty much just gonna leave it either at the door or like in your garage. And that's it. Like you pretty much figure it out from there. So.
Okay, I like it. What about maybe differences in cost? What are the differences in cost between the two programs?
Well, the full service is, it depends, either $99 to $139 and $119 or $119, and then shipping is $59
or
$39. Or free shipping. Sorry, free shipping.
If they spend
more than $100.
You can be confident though. It's okay. These are good answers. Let's give Nelly a round of applause. A really nice job there. Thanks for that summary. Here are a couple of other points that, again, we want you to really remember and kind of land when we're having conversations with our guests on which option makes the most sense for them. So Nelly, nice job in talking about with full service. It's the room of choice. Just remember to, again, really emphasize the fact that we place and assemble everything. I like that you brought up that again, we remove trash and haul away that debris. Nice touch on talking about mattress haul away and removal as well. Really, really nice. And then I see that T, yes, great that you're bringing up that we also go up flights of stairs, up to 3 flights of stairs with full service. And don't forget, full service is the quickest way to get items into your home because we can get there as soon as same day, if not next day. When it comes to shipping, the placement structure changes a little bit and we're only able to make it through the first dry location. Examples of that include a garage, a lobby for an apartment complex, through the front door, on the doorstep if for whatever reason we can't make it past the thresholds that I just mentioned. No assemblies included, no trash removal because everything is in original packaging and it takes about 1 extra day for it to get into your guest's home. As far as costs go, you did a great job breaking that down for us. Speaking of costs and maybe other points here, Rob, you are next again, sir. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
I'm ready.
Robert, what are the 4 important points that we have to share with our guests if we want to ensure that they have a successful pickup experience?
All right. Well, the first one is to bring his ID.
Yes.
Have his ID with him, to just make sure that's him. The CPU hours, it was from 12 to 7 p.m., correct? Of the stores locations. Like we mentioned earlier, the packaging and how we load to their truck. And we can assist him to load it, but not to tie it up because, well, we just have to assume responsibility there. And the final one will be, let's see, I think it's the lead time. Validate the lead time, correct?
That's a nice job there. Way to go, sir. Robert, round of applause for you.
Yeah.
Quickly and effectively. Appreciate the little dab at the end there as well. So let's summarize these points once again. Again, we want to validate the lead time for our guests. So we got to tell them the right day, and then we have to tell them the right times. And so again, 12 to 7, 12 to 8 more or less. And again, where can you go to find the most accurate lead times for our pickup hours right now?
Website?
Yep, website's a great resource, or the SharePoint site or resource center that we'll be able to provide for you in just a matter of days here to let you know if any one of these things changes along the way. Right, guests need to bring their proper ID. Doesn't matter who's picking it up. They just got to bring their ID, and it's got to be the person that's on the invoice, on the order. And we remind our guests that we can load that furniture. We're just not going to tie it down for them. Nice job there. So we don't want that highway story happening again, or the Prius story happening again. All right. Our last question, if I'm not mistaken, is set up to go to T. Are you ready, T? She says she's ready. She's double ready. Here we go. I just received a sectional today. My girlfriend wants to exchange it for a dining table. I don't know why. She just wants to. So the new dining table is going to cost more than the sectional that I'm about to give back. What are all the fees associated with me reselecting if Living Spaces delivers my new furniture?
Well, dear Julio, I definitely understand that us women, we have our own sets of styles and ideas. So let me tell you that there will just be a small fee of 5% of the original item included, as well as a new delivery fee. Would that be okay with you?
It's going to have to be.
Well, then let's get a happy wife is a happy home.
I like that. Thank you. I'm going to have to remind myself that as I move in with her. So 5% restocking fee because we're selecting something that's greater value than what we originally purchased. And we do have to impose a new delivery fee because we have to go out there again to again swap those items and to place the new furniture in its new intended space. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken, you just survived the Bowl of Doom activity. What?
Yay!
My goodness, how time certainly flies bye. Before we move on to anything else, I want to ask all of you, right? was that exercise helpful? Did you like it? What are some of your thoughts here?
It was awesome, my friend. Absolutely breathtaking and awesome.
Breathtaking. That's a new one for me. I would have never thought a game would be breathtaking that I designed, but you're welcome.
Trust me.
Now that's awesome to hear. I'm glad that that's kind of working out for you. That's excellent. Thank you so much for that feedback. Other thoughts here?
I liked that at the beginning you tried to keep us honest and have us not check our materials, which we all clearly did 5 seconds into the game to help whoever was in the hot seat.
Yeah, and quite frankly, because we understand that you're going to still need to utilize training wheels for quite some time, right? We're getting you ready to can explore our systems for the first time. We're making sure that we're setting up all your resources in an appropriate manner and a fashion so that way you can leverage them when you're taking these calls. But the more that you can start kind of remembering some of these components, right, the more you can start creating a better, more effective workflow for yourself. But that doesn't mean memorize everything now. That doesn't mean remember everything now. So we got you covered there. Other thoughts here or questions? Are there any questions that I could answer for you that maybe you're still a little bit kind of like lost on or concerned about that maybe we haven't been able to appropriately address just yet?
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Because just in that last activity, kind of scrolling through some of the materials, I got thrown on an item. When we're talking about a cancellation, not like a return with another purchase, just a flat out cancellation, right? We mentioned that it was a 10% restocking / cancellation fee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If it's only a flat cancellation, is there ever a time when it's 5% instead of 10%? Because that's what's on one of the pages. It's marked as page 97 on the guidebook that I'm using, but I don't know if that's the same for what you have or not. But essentially, it's a grid that shows under the returns and restockings our policy for when there's a return only, returns or exchanges. And then below that is a blue section that's titled cancellations. And on that page, it shows within 48 hours prior to delivery or pickup that there's a cancellation fee of 5%. And that's kind of throwing me because that's where I'm a little confused about the 5% versus the 10%. I know when there's, in the green section where we're talking about a purchase or equal or greater value or an item or the lower value being the differentiating factor. But when it's this one down here, it's just saying 5% within 48 hours prior to delivery. That one's